Hello, in this video I will install a Kato 11 204 light set. To remove the body shell from the chassis there are 4 clips, one on either side of each wheel bogie. Many Kato trains come with a small spudger tool in the box, however I find it easier to carefully remove by hand. Many, but not all Kato trains have arrows to show you which way the shell and the chassis go together. Here inside the body shell. Also, you might just be able to make out the one here on the chassis. First, I'll take the 2 electrical contacts. The contacts slide into these 2 slots at the rear of the chassis, one on either side. They should slide freely into these slots. The contacts need to be slid all the way in, however it is difficult for me to do this with my fingers, so I'm using a pencil just to finish pushing them in. Again, they should slide freely into position. You can see that the contacts should be pushed right back against the plastic of the chassis. Next, I'll install the light bulb. The contacts are on either side of the unit. They need to be pressed against the copper contacts that were just installed in the chassis. The light fitting slides into the chassis, further pressing the previously installed copper contacts against the plastic like this. Both sides should be the same. Now I will install the reflector in the roof. The supplied reflector is slightly too long for this coach, so I will use a Stanley knife to remove 2 or 3 mm from one end. To determine how much to cut, I laid the reflector in the roof of the coach prior to cutting. If not removed, the strip is so long it will partially cover the open doorway at the end of this coach. Now I shall install the reflector. I will start from the end furthest from the light to make sure that it covers the whole length of the train. The backing on the reflector has a helpful cut in the centre, making it easy to remove by bending it slightly. I will use the back of my pencil just to ensure that the reflector has adhered to the whole length of the coach and is reasonably smooth. The final piece is the lens. You can see the notches in the roof of the shell used to secure the lens. The end with the washboard-like ridges goes towards the bulb, with the other sections getting smaller towards the other end. There is a flange along the length of the lens. The flange side faces down, with the narrower side facing the roof of the coach. It can be a little bit fiddly, but it should stay in place when it is installed correctly. See how one end is flush against the bulkhead of the coach, while the other end only extends to the light bulb. Finally, I gently press the chassis and the body shell back together, ensuring that the light bulb and the reflector positions match up. This coach is now fitted with internal lighting. The end coaches are a little bit different, as they already contain some lights and the driver's cab at one end. Once the shell is removed, you can see the cab at the end and the space in the roof of the shell for it to fit. The lighting kit must be made to fit around the cab area. First, I will look at the lens. I need to remove this last section. Fortunately, the lenses are designed so that you must remove whole sections, so knowing where to cut is easy. For other models, additional sections may need to be removed. I could use a saw to remove this section, or I may even be able to carefully snap it off by hand. However, I will use the Stanley knife again as the plastic is quite soft. I score most of the way through before snapping off this section. The reflector also needs to be trimmed. Once again, I place it inside the shell to determine the required length. Once installed, it should look like this, with the ceiling recess for the cab not being covered. The instructions suggest that you should once again install the lens into the roof of the shell. However, personally, I have found it easier to rest the lens on top of the lip of the lighting unit and the lip on the cab, ensuring that the flange side is down and the washboard ridges are towards the bulb, then gently pressing the shell over the top. Thanks for watching. To see the unboxing of this 11206 kit, please click here. Or, if you would like to see the installation of the Kato 11212 kit, please click here.